There's a season for everything. A time for work, a time for play, a time for rest, and a time for growth. So that's why I love the moon so much. I've learned to look to the moon for guidance, for a reminder to ebb and flow with those natural rhythms of energy. My manifestation ritual is inspired by the seasons and the phases of the moon. So the full moon is a time for welcoming any kind of positivity into your life. It's a time of celebration, completion, abundance, and gratitude. Not only is it a great time to appreciate all that was brought in during the waxing moon phase, but it's a great time to feel your full power. Throw a party on the full moon for guaranteed high vibes. This is just like a direct quote from my House Magic book by Erica Feldman. This is where I really learned about the moon, and I have been having full moon parties ever since. It just feels so good to bring people together to celebrate all the good that we have. And it's just a reminder to take a little bit of a break from whatever it is that we're working towards. When we are really purpose-driven and when we're multi-passionate, we can often just get so caught up in work and we forget to celebrate all that we've already accomplished, all the good that we already have. And gratitude is really just key. When we can recognize all the good that we already have, that's when we feel so abundant. We feel so full, and we're just going to emit that frequency and attract more abundance into our lives. The waning moon. So after the full moon, you're going to start to notice that it starts to get smaller again. When the moon is getting smaller in the sky, it's a good time to declutter, literally and symbolically. So what do you want less of in your life? This is a really good time to let go of anything that's not serving you. And this can be like physical things, like you can clean out your closet, you can donate your clothes, you can just like tidy everything up, create a really serene space for yourself, for magic to flow. And this can also just be energetically. Maybe there's like a fear or a limiting belief or just like an anxiety around something going on in your life that you need to let go of. And this is a really great time to do that during that waning moon phase when the moon is getting smaller. It's kind of like a fall autumn phase where we're kind of starting to detach a little bit from our circle. We just came out of a summer season where we're really like spending a lot of time with other people and we're soaking up all of their energy. This is a time to kind of detach a little bit, to start to slow down, to start to do whatever it is that you need to do for you so that you then have that space to rest during the new moon or the dark moon phase, that winter season. And I put in a little slide here with some Palo Santo, which is Spanish for holy wood. And this is a little tool that I like to use from nature to clear out any stagnant energy, anything that's not serving me, any negative energy. This is a really great way to clear. We can smudge or just light this like incense. Sometimes people use like sage or something. I like Palo Santo because it's also really good for setting new intentions simultaneously. So as we're letting go of the negative or the stagnant energy, we're also welcoming in peace and positivity and setting our new intentions, keeping that in mind. And so I have a fun little spell that you can say if you do have Palo Santo, where you have like any other incense or something, herbs that you want to use to clear the energy in your space. You can say this fun little spell. And I realize I don't have a slide for it in here. I'll have to make sure I add that in, but it is north, south, east, west, clear this space, make it fresh. When I rise and when I rest, in this space, I feel my best. And you can make that your own. I actually have a slide down the road here a little bit about how you can write your own spells, how all of your words are spells. And it's really just about like putting out there what you really want, being really intentional with your words, with your thoughts, with your language. And it's also just meant to be fun. And when you rhyme, it can be really easy to remember those affirmations, those spells. And so go ahead and write your own spell, make something up. I just made that up. Like it's not like a spell I got from some spell book somewhere. It's just something fun, a good reminder for myself, and something cool that I can do to kind of shift that energy if I ever feel the need to. And the reason that I put it here is because during that waning moon phase, it's a really good time to do that, to let go of anything that's not serving you and to welcome in more peace and positivity and space for magic to flow. And the dark moon. So for a few days before we begin to see the little crescent moon again reappear in the sky, the moon goes dark. So embrace the darkness and go inward. Take advantage of that winter season to rest and rejuvenate, to fill your cup. Allow your mind and body time and space to heal and recover. Figuratively speaking, this is the perfect time to recharge your batteries. The sun will rise and we will begin again, but before it does, do whatever it takes to refill your cup. If you're not physically healthy, you won't be able to access the more subtle layers of yourself because your survival brain will be more concerned with trying to keep you alive. So although we're so much more than our physical bodies, our bodies give us the ability to experience life through our senses. So tenderly care for the temple that you reside in so that you can experience the bliss of life. I want you to respect, honor, and nourish your body so that you are able to show up and take aligned action towards your Dharma with the waxing moon. So before we talk about the waxing moon again, we're going to talk about the new moon, which is very similar to the dark moon, but I really like to think of the new moon as when we actually start to see that teeny little sliver, that skinniest crescent that shows up in the sky after a few days of darkness. So in magical practices, the new moon is a time to mark the new lunar cycle. And it's a really great time to welcome in fresh starts, to set your intentions, to plant seeds. And you can even kind of think of this as a new year. So that happens generally in the winter season, January, wherever you are in the world. Maybe you're somewhere like I am in Hawaii right now, where, I mean, they definitely have seasons, but like they don't have snow or, you know, the leaves don't fall off the trees. I'm lucky enough to be spending a portion of my winter here. And yeah, it feels really good. But there is also something about those seasons that really remind us to slow down. And so if you're somewhere where you don't really have that winter season, look to the moon, remember to honor that natural inclination to go inward, to slow down before you start something new, a new big project, or maybe to continue working on an ongoing project. But so this is a really great time to set your intentions, to plant seeds. And you can literally use this time to plant a garden if the season is right in your area of the world. If it's a new moon and you want to, like, I love to do a spell where I actually like burn my intentions. I'll like write down my manifestations during the waxing moon, and then I save it. I'll burn it during the waning moon, and then I'll actually like put the ashes into a pot with a plant during the new moon and plant those intentions, and I start to water them and watch them grow. You can also do this as like a visualization exercise. Anything, like any kind of a spell that you see through this masterclass or in life somewhere, you can always do it as just a visualization exercise if you don't have the actual materials to do it like physically. So that's just something to keep in mind. But this is a time to just really take a moment to reflect on the past, to check in with your current circumstances, your thoughts, your emotions, to do some forward thinking. What has been working really well for you? How can you keep doing more of that? What hasn't been working so well? Can we let that go from our attention this time and really start to focus on what has been working and see those positives, and to really plant the seeds that we want to see bloom in this new spring season? And so now we're going to talk about the waxing moon. So when the moon is said to be waxing, the visible part is growing in the sky. So this is the best time for manifestation spells, like I just mentioned, for drawing things to you, for calling in more of what you want. Think of what you want more of in your life right now. What's missing? The waxing moon is all about amplification, attraction, and expansion. So you could try this simple spell from House Magic by Erica Feldman. I put it in the slides here. I'm not going to walk you through the entire thing right now. I just want you to be able to look to that on your own, something that you can try. And like I said, once again, if you don't have all of the materials like, the pyrite or a key or a candle or incense or whatever, just do it in your mind as kind of a visualization exercise. The point is to really just shift our focus to the things that we want rather than the things that we don't want. And I want you to just kind of think about the moon and the universe like this. So if you're looking at this slide here, the moon represents your spiritual practice. So the moon revolves around the earth, and it controls our weather, and it makes this like a livable planet. So we can think of the moon like our spiritual practices. And those practices, those cyclical practices, those rituals are helping us so that our souls can live in our bodies, so that we can thrive. As if you're thinking of the earth, like our physical body, that moon or our spiritual practices regulate our physical bodies, so that we can go out and do our life's work, so that we can fulfill our purpose, so that we can embody our Dharma, so that we can help others with our natural gifts. Now, the sun represents your soul. It's that light that is always there. It's always there inside of you. It's warming the planet. It's warming your physical body. It's giving you life. The sun gives our planet life. The plants and, the trees can't grow without the sunlight. Our souls are like the sun. And so our physical bodies are revolving around the sun, our physical bodies are revolving around our soul, just as the earth is revolving around the sun and the moon is revolving around the earth. It's all cyclical. It's all a cycle, and it's all connected. It's all aligned. And space represents source, higher power, God. We are all connected. It's all working together. There is this divine organizing power, and everything that's happening is for the greater good of all. So sometimes it can feel like we are struggling, like we are stuck, like there's a resistance. And so don't, just remember to lean into the things that feel natural, that feel good, that feel flowing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about karma and kriya, which is flow. And I'll share a little bit more about that, but this is just kind of a visual for you about how it's all connected, about how it's all working together, and how source is really just divinely keeping us all in order and all on that divine path. And it's always working for us, for the greater good of all.